Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We've got a little bit of a bonus tutorial here for Chinese philosophy and theory. And this is a subject I'm very passionate about. It's known as the five spirits or the Wu Shen. We've already talked about the Wu Jing, which are essentially the five elements or five cycles. Now we've got the Wu Shen, which are the five spirits. The reason that I wanted to talk about the five spirits, even though it's a little bit of an advanced concept, it's a concept that once you have an understanding of, you'll start to be able to translate it into your own being. You'll start to feel more at peace within your own being. So, this again, Wu Shen. And the five spirits are really the unity of each individual. Each of us is comprised of the five spirits. So the five spirits are birthed, of course, from the five elements, or perhaps the five elements are birthed from the five spirits. This is really the Taoist map of our human psyche. We're going to take a little bit of a journey here. And you can see we've got kind of a depiction here. We've got a mountain, and at the peak of the mountain, we've got the Shen. The Shen is the spirit that is associated with the heart. It is essentially our true nature. The Shen is that mandate from heaven. The Shen is our destiny. It's the part of our spirit that is awakened into our eyes. It's the light of our passion. It sleeps, of course, in the heart, and it's nourished by the blood of the heart. As we start to come from the very top of the mountain, and of course, the very top of the mountain, right, is where we're going to have that great yang. We're going to have the greatest yang there. And of course, that's going to be because we've got the peak of sunshine. We've got the peak of sunshine shining down upon the rocks and warming them. As we start to travel down the mountain, we meet the Hun. And the Hun is in the tree lines. So where the trees start to come up again in the mountains, and there's so often a fine mist there. That's where we meet the Hun. And the Hun is associated with the liver. Of course, trees, wood, liver, it sort of all makes sense. And it's known as our ethereal soul. It is our consciousness that lives on eternally. And of course, it also is known to sleep within the liver and wake to the eyes. So both the Hun and the Shen wake to the eyes. So within the eyes, we can see the spirit of the Shen. We can see our own true nature. And we can also see our ethereal soul, the soul that lives on forever, the eternal soul. As we continue to come down the mountain further, we meet the horizon line. And at the horizon line, we start to see plants, mushrooms, and lots of dragonflies and butterflies and all sorts of creatures coming to be. We start to once again connect in with the earth element. The horizon, it should be of no surprise to you, is associated with the earth element. It is the space between yin and yang, the space between light and dark, the space between fire and water, right? And here, of course, we meet the yi. And the yi is actually considered our intellect and our mind. So we meet that yi in the place of horizon. And I think one way I like to think about this is at the base of a mountain, right? As you kind of look up and also can look down. But if you stand on the edge of the ocean and you see the sun setting or rising, this is a great yi moment. As the sun sets, as the sun rises, again, those spaces between, we're not sure if it's day or night, just like we're not sure if it's winter or spring, right? That's when the yi comes up. So let's talk about a sunset. As you see that sun, right, dropping and dropping and dropping in the sky toward the horizon. It's at the horizon of the ocean and it starts to go into the ocean. We have the perfect melding of water and fire. right? Opposite, the same thing. You're watching the horizon at sunrise. You start to see light, but no sunshine yet, right? And then you slowly, slowly, slowly start to see that glow rise up, that ball of light start to rise up above the horizon line. That's going to be the yi space. So the horizon gives us our true intellect, our true intelligence, the truth of our mind, the space of our mind that exists without the ego. And it's really important to consider that. And again, I use the term space between. This is where we can meet the yi. We're going to keep going down now into the caverns of the mountain on this journey. And in the caverns of the mountain, of course, we're going to find earth compressed. Earth creates metal when it's compressed. So we're going to find those crystals, we're going to find those gems, we're going to find that richness. And this is the metal element. It is our corporeal soul. It is known as the consciousness that dissolves. So as we rise up from our death into the spirit form once again, the corporeal soul, or the physical soul, does not go with us. It does not rise. It dies with us in our bones. It's kind of this part that stays with the physical being. So the Po, if you believe in new carnations, the Po actually regenerates each time we have a new carnation. The Po is that corporeal soul. We meet it in the caves and the caverns. It's really starting to turn toward yin. It's really starting to be with that moon space, the shadow space, the darkening. It, of course, lends itself toward us going down deeper through the caverns into the underworld, into the water below the caves. And this, of course, is where we're going to find the most yin place, the darkest, most feminine, most womb-like place, the peak of the moon's energy. And this is where we meet the Zhur. And the Zhur is our will. It's associated with the kidneys. And it connects to this fortitude within us, this strength within us, this life force that exists within us, this reason for being. I don't believe I said this, but the Po is actually associated with the lungs and the Yi is associated with the spleen. So all of the yin organs essentially are our way in to each of the spirits. Now, why are the spirits important? Well, once again, this is the Taoist map of our psyche. So these are the parts of our spirit that make us who we are. They're the parts of us that come together, not just through the physicality of the elements, but through the spirit of the elements. We want to welcome the spirits into our being, each of the 5 spirits into our being, because they make us who we are. And when we have all 5 of the components, our spirit can really shine through as one, and we can exist as a balanced being. So this is really the end of the lecture on the 5 spirits, the Shen, the Han, the Yi, the Po, and the Zhur. But I hope you do take advantage of listening to my meditation on the 5 spirits, as we'll take a journey to get to know them a little bit better. And you'll have the opportunity to connect with each of the 5 spirits and welcome them into the presence of your being. Thank you so much for being with me for this tutorial and the series. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something new, and I hope you find ways in which you can translate this information into something that's useful, something that allows you to connect deeper within yourself, you to connect deeper to your destiny and align with that destiny, and for you to feel more harmony within yourself. As always, I'm available for questions, so do feel free to reach out at any time. I appreciate you, and I'm grateful for you being here with me. And may you enjoy your connection with the 5 spirits.